this video, we'll be exploring how automation can elevate your tracks by controlling parameters such as volume and filter cutoff. More specifically, Ableton empowers you to program changes in a track over time. And automation can be applied to nearly any parameter like volume, panning, filter cutoff, and effects such as reverb or delay. We're going to demonstrate this effect in Ableton's arrangement view. Let's start by looking at volume automation. So in order to see the volume automation, we can use the Shift-A command, and that will allow us to see our automation and make sure that it's visible. Another way is by accessing the view, and we can see the automation mode here. Now that we have our automation mode, we can select the track that we're going to affect, and in this case, we can see that we already have an existing volume automation here, but let's add another one to our second track. So in order to make a change, all we need to do is click on this line, and we'll be making a breakpoint. Now, where are we making this breakpoint? Well, you want to make sure that you're on the track volume. So if we want to select the correct parameter, we can see that on the track here. So if I have mixer selected, then I can see the parameters that I can use from the mixer, and in this case, we want to control the track volume. Now, there's a few ways we can add a value. One, we just click, and we can drag. Another is on a breakpoint, we can right-click, and we can edit the value. We can also change the way that our line is curved. By clicking the Option key, we can create a logarithmic curve or an exponential curve. We can use some of Ableton's existing shapes just by right-clicking and clicking on Insert Shape. We can have each of these breakpoints lock into the grid by holding the Command key, and that'll shift and toggle our grid. Now we have an automation here on volume, and we can listen back to it. We do want to make sure that there isn't this renable automation highlighted. It'll look orange. But if you see that there, that means that you will not hear the automation. And sometimes when we make changes to a particular parameter after we've already put automation on a track, that's when we'll have to re-enable it in order to hear the automation that we've recorded in or drawn in. So now we can hear we have a volume dynamic. So adding breakpoints is one way to do it. Inserting shapes is another way to add in automation. We can also draw in directly the automation that we want. So another exciting parameter to affect is the filter cutoff. And we can create a very simple ramp. So I have just added in a simple ramp here, and you should see that the bass will get brighter. But let's say we wanted to have a bit of a more fine control. One thing that we can do is record in our own automation. So we can see the parameter here. This is actually a very quick way to access, especially if there's a macro, we can click on it, and you'll see that this will change the parameter here in our automation mode. So just by clicking, we can very quickly get to the thing that we'd like to automate. But it is important to know that you still have this menu here as well. So if we select the instrument and then we select the parameter that we want to affect, that's a perfectly fine way to make sure you're automating the correct parameter. But this is the most important for being able to record over automation onto a track. So if I want to record over automation, it might be easier to be able to control this macro with a pot or a knob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the knob or pot on my MIDI controller. I can hit Command M. I'm going to create a quick mapping here. And then we're going to record over this automation. So if this is armed, this is the arm for automation, that means when I click the record button, I should be able to add our automation solely by moving our pot or knob. You can see that we had that re-enable automation pop up here. This is what I was discussing when it will highlight, meaning that your existing automation will not be there or will not be active. So if I click on this record, we can now add in our automation directly by moving the pot or knob on our MIDI controller. So now you can hear we've pretty intensely changed the timbre of this bass by being able to adjust the filter cutoff in real time. Let's hear that effect from the beginning. So automation in Ableton can enhance your music by crafting a dynamic and allowing you to create an engaging composition.
Hi, my name is Ski Okafor, Head of Education and Curriculum here at Point Blank Music School in London. This is just a taster of what you can get from our free course. Head over to pointblankmusicschool.com now to access the rest of the videos.